instructive to look at the contrasting situation of what the actual outcome of the Bolt case was. He was not ordered to pay damages or monetary compensation. He was not ordered to make an apology. There was an order that he not be published, which is fairly standard in a defamation type action, so there's nothing unusual about that. And by the way, all of his articles are still freely available online. It's not as though they've been sort of excised and censored. The only thing that really, I guess, the most unpleasant thing that happened to him was that there was an order that extracts of the judgment finding against him had to be published on the page in the Herald Sun next to the page with his column in it, setting out all the findings, and so that people who read his column would also at least have the opportunity to read the other point of view on the opposing page. Now, again, I find it curious to characterise that as a suppression of free speech. There's a mandatory presentation of the other point of view on one occasion, in one edition of the newspaper. So, I come back to the proposition that Part 2A of the RDA is a very mild corrective compared to other branches of the law. Andrew Bond had been sued for defamation and had lost. The consequences would have been much more dire. And he did actually name a lot of people, so it's quite possible more possible he would have lost the defamation case. It's a very mild corrective. And is there any reason in principle or in the public interest to change the law? No, there isn't, quite frankly. Is there a political reason to do so? Well, unfortunately, now that the coalition has painted itself into a corner by making a promise that it would repeal certain provisions of the law, there seems to be a political imperative, at least that's the way the government sees it. And is there a way out of the mess? Well, I think there is. There could be a codification of the case law saying that the offence, insult, humiliation or intimidation must be serious and not merely trivial. That would not really change anything other than the optics, but fair enough. Optics are important. And possibly also, and this is a bit more substantive, looking at the way the community standards criterion operates in the application of the objective test. When a court assesses whether it is reasonably likely that a particular group will be offended, insulted, humiliated or intimidated by a publication, looking at it in an objective sense, is that assessment made from the standpoint of a reasonable member of the target group or a reasonable member of the Australian community at large? And here I think there might be room at least for clarification. I think there are good arguments both ways for either one, but the law at the moment is not consistent in that area, and a genuine reform perhaps could be made to clarify how the community standard test operates, or the community standard criteria operates in the application of the objective test. And finally, I'll just say this, that I agree that there's been more heat than light in the debate thus far, but the fun is just about to begin. I think once we see a bill tabled in Parliament, it'll be on to young and old, and who knows what the outcome will be. I mean, nobody knows what the composition of the Senate will be after the 1st of July, and nobody knows what attitude certain members of the independents and the micro parties will take. So it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Thank you, Peter.